My friends, it is truly a pleasure to be with you tonight. And I have felt the energy for this call all day, like so strong. So, we're going to have a powerful call tonight. And we are going to have an experience. I haven't done this in quite a while, but tonight I'm actually going to provide a demonstration session, a short one, of the high speed energy healing. And I know a lot of you are here just for that. And you should be here just for that. There's a lot of words and talk going around town these days. You're hearing words like frequency and energy and vibration and consciousness, right? And all I can say is thank goodness it's taken decades, but it's finally happening where we have reached a critical mass and there are people all over the world who are starting to pay close attention to the fact that we're experiencing a revolution in the health and healing world. And energy, vibration, frequency, consciousness, this is the new science. This is the ancient spirituality. This is the two worlds coming together and providing truly revolutionary, what I call high speed healing, because we now live in this cyber speed, want it now, instant gratification age. We need a method like high speed healing. Everybody's attention span has gone down to 20 seconds. Did you know the average attention span of a human is less than a goldfish? I didn't make that up. So it's we need something fast. We want something fast. We don't want to spend 10, 20 years talking about the problems. We want solutions. And I know that if you're here and you've taken time out of your busy life to be on this call with me, or you're listening to this recording, first of all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm here to help you. But thank yourself, acknowledge yourself, because you're a trailblazer and you are open. More than the average person, you're open to a new solution that really is shaking up the foundation of our entire understanding of what health and healing is about. And tonight, my goal is to provide you with an experience, because let's face it, information's great and it's all at our fingertips now. Anything we want to know, right? We go to Dr. Google and boom, we have the answer. But guess what? You could read about healing and health and whatever you've been told is going on with you till you are just bleary-eyed, and it may not change a darn thing to understand intellectually what is going on. I would put all my money, all my cards on the table to bet that you are here because you want to feel something. You want an experience. You want an actual evidential experience that something is changing or changed or different or gone or new coming in, right? You're not here to just learn one more thing, although that's, I'm sure, important and necessary for some of you more than others. But I would bet all of you, give me some hearts, some love, your hands up, nod your head. If you're here because you really want something to be different and you want to know that because you would feel it if you know it, right? You would have an experience. And I really relate to this because I spent, as many of you know, if you've heard me speak, you've heard my story. I won't go into the whole thing tonight, but I spent a good 14 years wishing, praying, hoping, testing, more testing, taking supplements, getting upset, having my expectations dashed, wondering what the hell's wrong with me? Is it my karma? Am I cursed? Right? Thinking the practitioner didn't know anything. I really relate to everyone who ends up in my universe. I relate to you all because I've been down a long trail with all of this. And I relate to almost every single person that comes to me because I've either had it, experienced it, and empathize and know what's going on. So the beautiful good news that I'm here to provide tonight is that there are new solutions. And I'm convinced, because I've been doing this for a long time now, and I've seen the dramatic results with people in over 160 different countries. And when I first started doing this years ago, I thought, well, let me see, is there going to be consistency? Is it going to be beneficial and positive? Is it just a fluke, that these people are having dramatic results? But I've seen over the years that there really is something exciting going on here, and it is revolutionary. And it is sometimes appears to be a magic wand for a lot of people. Is that everyone? No, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. There are some people that take longer than others. But what I'm here to say is that the good news is we have a faster, safer, easier solution now to heal even deep, severe, chronic, long-term, been told there's nothing we can do for you type situations. Conditions where nothing shows up on a test. Conditions where you've been told you're going to have to learn to live with this. There's absolutely nothing we can do for you. I have had thousands of those people come across my trail, and I have heard them report to me, wow, Deborah, it's gone. It's gone. I feel lighter, better. My pain is gone. My fibromyalgia that I've had for 30 years with pain every single day, I don't have the pain anymore. I finally slept, Deborah. I slept through the night for the first time in 12 years without a sleeping pill. Deborah, I stopped binge eating. I haven't gone 7 years without binge eating. I stopped. I all of a sudden I realized I hadn't binged in 2 weeks. People telling me their thyroid tests are normal now. People telling me their diarrhea stopped, their vomiting stopped, they can eat again, they can travel again. People saying to me, my migraines are gone. And now I know why I had them in the first place. People saying their relationships have cleared up, their finances, their romances have cleared up. This is not a place if you're just in physical pain. The majority of the people come here with things like anxiety, panic attacks, depression, feel so depressed they don't want to get off the couch, sometimes for a long, long time. I have younger people more and more than ever before, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, anxious, depressed, sick all the time, and can't seem to get their energy back. People suffering from exhaustion and chronic fatigue. So if you're here and you're suffering, if it's you or someone you love, and you've tried a lot of things, I hope this is not, I wish people came here when this was their first step. It's often their last stop on the block, but I hope for you that you haven't tried everything. I hope you're here sooner rather than later. But if you're suffering, and you probably are, or you probably wouldn't be on a call like this, then I don't want you to lose hope. I want to shake you up tonight. I want to provide you with some information. And remember, even if this is not new information, people tell me all the time, wow, Deborah, I've been working on myself for 20 years, but something you said finally clicked. Something you said finally shifted me. I got it. And I feel different. And I want that for you. So I know a lot of you aren't newbies to some of the information I'll share tonight. So keep an open mind, keep an open heart. Don't come here with know-it-allism, because that shuts the door. You can be skeptical. I get it. I welcome all skeptics. I'm a skeptic, quite frankly, of most things. And you should be too. There's a lot of bunk out there. And you should always test things and make sure you resonate with it. Don't just take my word for it. You want to have your own inner sense and your own experience. So tonight I'm going to share some foundational, basic information that you must know if you really want to heal. I'm going to bust up a few myths, and I'm going to also share with you a demonstration session a short session so that you can experience for yourself why so many people have come to me and then said, wow, I finally got some results. I'm finally without the pain, the depression, the anxiety. I'm able to go back to traveling, back to the gym. I'm dating again. I got married. I wrote a book. I got a job. I started a business. I am eating. I'm happy. My energy's back. And that's really, why I spend every waking hour. I'm very passionate about my mission because I love the results people get. And I want that for everyone. And believe me, I wish I had a magic wand and could just make everyone instantly. So some of you will have more instant results than others. But if that's not you, please don't give up hope. It does take slower burning path than, for some people than other people. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. You're cursed or it's your karma. It just means you are going to go at the pace that's right for you. Everyone's different. And quite frankly, if everything changed for you overnight, it would probably scare the hell out of you and you'd run back to shore. I see this a lot. I was just having a call earlier with a private client, and I was talking about this both today and yesterday, how resistance comes up for everyone. When you start to make positive changes in the direction that you've been begging for, praying for, you're committed to the program or the service or whatever it is you're doing, and you start to see, oh my God, I'm getting results. I can bet you that at some point in the fairly near future, a part of you is going to get scared about these changes. And the two most common feelings that almost every human being does not want is to feel like they're out of control and in unknown territory. Well, guess what happens when you start to change? And you lose your pain and your symptoms and your story and your habits and your lifestyle and the relationships that are abusive. Guess what happens when all that leaves? You don't know who you are anymore. I had someone say this earlier to me today. Deborah, I don't even know who I am without this pain. I've had it since I was 13. So what you need to understand, number one, is that there's a reason that you have what you have. And on some level, it's familiar. And you feel in charge and in control of it, even if you hate it, even if every day you wish it were gone, you actually feel familiar there. You've handled it. You're still alive. You've lived through some really challenging times. So if you want to heal, you're going to need to get more comfortable with stepping outside your comfort zone, stepping out of the familiar zone. Think about that for a moment. If you want something to change and be different, then something needs to change and be different. And that will feel unfamiliar and most likely uncomfortable at first, which is why it's helpful to have a guide or a group or somebody to be accountable to who's been there, done that, and can help you, because they will remind you when you get afraid or your brain starts saying, wait a minute, I don't know what to trust here. The new feels weird. I don't want to go back to the old, but I'm scared. That's normal. That's part of the healing process. So you need to hear the truth and have someone you trust to help you so you don't run back to shore. And I know because I did it. I ran back more than once. So are you really open is the first question I want to ask you. Are you 100% open and willing to experience something new that will feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable? How many of you are willing to get uncomfortable in order to experience a positive new direction? What if everything in your life changed and needed an overhaul? Like, I know for me, my first mentor said, I said to her, I think you're trying to brainwash me. And she said, honey, your brain needs a really good washing. It's a mess in there. And you know what? That is still true today sometimes. So you may need a complete brainwashing, but not in the way that we think of it. You may need to clear out, clean up, unclog. And it has to do with 3 areas. And by the way, write this down. There are only 3 areas, 3 places to look. And most everyone looks in the wrong place. When something goes haywire in our physical health, what do? We ask, where does it hurt? What's wrong? Where does it hurt? And we look at the body like a car, and we try to find which part is broken, and we try to replace the part, and we cut it out or we drug it out and try to, put a little oil in there. We Band-Aid it because we don't really want to buy a whole new carburetor or whatever. So we put a new belt or a thing or a tire or whatever, and we patch the hole. We don't really repair the tire by getting a new tire. We plug the hole so there's no leak until it goes flat again on the freeway at 60 miles an hour, and then we're traumatized, right? So we want to stop that lovely pattern because nobody's getting deep healing from these Band-Aids. So remember and write down, the symptoms are never the root cause of the problem. The symptoms are just symptoms. They show up, they get your attention, they scare you, which is a good thing because it makes you want to do something about it. And it starts people seeking and searching. The symptoms are not a problem. They are your friend. They have a message in them for you, and they're trying to get your attention on purpose, and it will get worse until you listen and you seek and you find. And if you seek, you will find. And I know sometimes it takes a long, lovely rabbit hole to find, but maybe that's part of the puzzle too. Maybe everything you've ever done brought you here today and prepared you for what's still available to you, and you didn't give up. Thank goodness. Some little voice inside you, which I call your inner GPS, said, don't give up yet. I know it's been hard, but don't give up yet. It's not supposed to be like this. Because many people do give up. They do. They just say, well, this is just part of aging. Oh, I love that one. I just want to scream and shake people when I hear that, as if it's always supposed to get worse as time goes on. And we have a lot of ideas on our planet swirling around in the collective consciousness that are not true. They're not facts, but people act like they're facts. This word consciousness, collective consciousness. Here's a seed I want to plant tonight. Everything that you see in the physical universe, including your body, is the outpicturing of the state of consciousness held by either you individually or a group. Let me repeat that. Everything that you see in the physical universe, everything, whether it's pollution, a country, the politics, your car, your body, your relationships, everything you see in the physical universe is the outpicturing of the state of consciousness. The invisible realm, which is consciousness, is the precursor to the physical realm. The physical doesn't just come out of nowhere. What we're seeing in the world today is the outpicturing of the predominant state of consciousness on our planet. And you can very well see that it's dramatic and everyone's in pain. And it's very in our face. We're on a collective level and on the macro level and on the micro level. We're trying to clean up pain and dis-ease in a big way. And those of you that are here, you're the trailblazers. You're working on it personally, but guess what? You're working on it in a way that affects the collective consciousness more than you may realize. So it actually is a higher purpose. When you work on yourself, you are also helping the other people on the planet to speed up their healing process and become aware more quickly of the fact that we're all connected through an invisible energy field. And this is the missing key to both health and disease. This is the missing link, the missing puzzle piece. Everybody's searching for an answer, but the puzzle piece that's missing is the energy field. We live in a gigantic ocean of energy, light, and information. It's all vibrational information. Most people can't see it. They don't hear it. Some people do, but most people don't. They're not even aware it exists. They look out the window and they see empty space and they think it's empty space. It's not empty. It's so exciting because it's filled with information. It's filled with vibration, with energy. Your body is the same. Your body looks physical. You can touch it. You can feel it, right? But guess what? If you looked at your body under a high-powered piece of equipment, you would see that your body is made of vibrating particles of light and energy, and it's emitting, it's shooting out of your body. And you actually, your body goes beyond the skin. It extends out much further than the edge of your skin, but it's more subtle. And so most people can't see it. And you can't feel it. Similar to water vapor. You can't touch and hold on to water vapor, but it's as real as the ice cube or the water. It's just more subtle in its energetic nature. Well, why am I going on about this? Because your energy field, it's like a recording device. It has imprinted vibrational information. It's created a library of every experience you've ever had in this life, before you were born, and in previous, if you want to call them lifetimes. All the information, every experience is recorded in that energy field. And how many doctors have you been to where they said, let's check out your energy field? I went to zero. No one ever asked me that question. I'm grateful that I had a health hell, which forced me to start seeking, and all of this was revealed to me. I had several incredible spiritually transformative experiences where the physics of the universe was revealed to me. Now, I never studied physics. I never was interested in science. I wasn't reading, geeking out on physics books. I still don't. I was shown, I could see the walls vibrating. I saw my body made of light and energy. I became very intuitively aware and activated to what is going on. And I got the answers I needed. And I'm here to share with you that the most exciting thing to me on planet Earth, and why I'm so excited and passionate about all this, is that when you work in the field first, it has a more dramatic and very rapid way of affecting the physical body. But if all you do is keep looking at which car part needs a Band-Aid, you can do that for decades. And you can drug yourself out till you just can't even function. And I don't want that. I don't wish that on anyone. I did that for far too long. And I became addicted to different types of pills, to wake up, go to sleep, to eat, to not eat, to get rid of the pain, to make me feel alive. Like it just became a nightmare. And the binge eating and the shopping and whatever it was that I could do to distract myself from how I felt, because I hated how I felt. I was miserable and I had a lot of anxious feelings, and a committee that was very critical in my head all day long, talking to me, reminding me of how I wasn't smart enough, pretty enough, never going to amount to anything. I had no purpose. I had the thoughts and the emotions that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And it took me to a very, very dark night of the soul. But that was the turning point for me. And thank God I didn't commit suicide, because I was headed there. And thank God that I woke up and found not only a path for me to heal, but then a higher purpose so that I could help others. And that's why I'm here today. And I don't want you to hit the basement like I did. You don't need to go to the basement. Get off the elevator today. Just get off at any floor and start listening and practicing what I'm about to share with you. So, number one, there's only 3 places to look: your mind, your emotions, and your energy field. Notice I didn't say your body. Now, I'm not saying ignore the symptoms. Your body is a feedback machine. It's giving you constant feedback through sensations. And these sensations get your attention. And then you have thoughts about them. And then the thoughts generate an emotional reaction. Now, let me unwind that ball of string a little further, because this is where people go wrong and why they get stuck for decades. They get a feeling and they think, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. Oh my God, my mother had a heart attack. She died at 50. I'm 49. Oh my God, right? And they start to panic. And then they go get a test, and the test says, well, you're not having a heart attack. There's nothing wrong with you. And then you're even in a worse situation because you can feel something going on, but there's nothing showing up on a test. So no one knows what to do for you. So now you're thinking about it more often and feeling more anxious. Do you see how this loop, this revolving door loop, creates a pattern which will affect every choice you make? It will affect how you sleep at night. It will affect your nervous system. It will disrupt your hormones. It will affect how you digest food, how you eliminate food. It will affect how your relationships go, how your work goes, how your money goes. It's going to affect everything. It's quite different than this scenario. I went to work today. These are all real scenarios from clients I've had. Okay. So I'm not just making this up. A client tells me, I went to work today. Now, we had to do a little exploring to figure this out. He didn't come to this awareness right away, but this is the type of thing that happens. He went to work. He was at his desk doing what he does best for the company. And all of a sudden, his boss came in standing over his shoulder. And the boss had that look on his face. And he had that tone in his voice. And my client knew his boss was angry and he was going to get it. It was going to be taken out on him. And his heart starts pounding. And he feels like he's going to throw up. And he gets a headache, a migraine, and his stomach starts hurting. And he thinks, oh my God, I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. And all of a sudden, he's panicking and says, I have to leave the office. I have to go home. I'm sick. And sometimes this client in particular would actually throw up. He would go and vomit. Emotions are superpowers. Now, when I worked with him further, what we discovered is that this boss reminded him exactly of his abusive father, who used to beat him, scare him, punish him, belittle him, tell him he was never doing it right. He grew up in an environment that was very frightening to him. And when you don't feel safe, your nervous system, you're wired to go on red alert and to start to, there's a signal that goes off that says danger, danger, there's danger. And your brain is wired to keep you alive. So it's going to try to get you to either run from the danger or fight the danger to try to overpower it. Or some people freeze up in the danger and they just freeze up. So are you with me? Do you follow me? And do you see the mind, the emotional, the energetic feedback connection that the body gifts you with? Are you following me? Yes? No? Maybe? Give me some hearts, some thumbs up, some, yeah. You're welcome to type yes in the chat as well. Now, I'm going to take questions later, so that if you would please, don't bring your questions to the chat just yet. We will get to that. And please refrain, you're not doing it, but please refrain from chatting with each other. Let's just stay really focused here. I don't want you to miss a thing. And the time goes by so quickly. So if we don't examine the thoughts, the habitual thoughts, the repetitive thoughts, the habits of thought that are destructive, that are damaging, see, these imprint disturbances in your energy field. And these thoughts generate an emotional reaction. Your emotions are connected to the thoughts. These emotions emit frequencies. Now, there are frequencies that are harmful to you. There's a lot of talk now about EMFs coming out of our electronic devices, these low electromagnetic frequencies, right? You probably all heard about this now and how harmful they are, and you have to protect yourself from them. Guess what? Emotions create as strong, if not stronger, and more harmful and instantaneous frequencies that can disturb you like that. I can bring on all the symptoms of the flu, swollen glands, headache, flu-like symptoms, and fever in about 2 minutes, if I want to, or if I get scared enough. I've seen many, many clients bring on symptoms of heart attacks, complete, the vomiting, the diarrhea, the insomnia, like everything's related to emotions, everything. And it's the biggest culprit and missing piece in our health system. We're not dealing with the frequencies from emotions properly. They're getting lodged and they're coming out sideways as a symptom. We live in a very intellectual world that says it's immature to have those feelings here. Don't bring them to work. Men aren't allowed to have them in general. Grown-ups should be over them by now. It looks unprofessional. It looks weak. I had a woman yesterday say to me, yeah, growing up, my father said to me, women should be seen and not heard. I was not allowed to feel angry. I bet a lot of you are nodding your head now, because this is also generational. There are beliefs that have come down through the ages that taught us, do not bring those feelings here. Well, guess what? Let me circle back to what I've said right at the beginning of the call. Everything's energy. Your emotions are energy. Your thoughts are energy. Energy does not die. It goes somewhere. Well, if it's not being released properly, guess what? It goes in and it implodes and it comes out sideways. And then your body gives you these symptoms because it's trying to tell you, this is not healthy for you. This is not your natural state. And then some people literally go numb. A lot of people have come to me, they have neuropathy, they have symptoms of numbness in their hands, their feet, different parts of the body. Sometimes the whole body goes numb. And in every case I've seen, there's emotional suppression, big time. Different suppressed, immune suppressed, different illnesses reflect a lot of this suppression. I personally had an underactive thyroid because I did not express who I was, how I felt, what I believed in, my creativity. It just stayed in and in and in and in and in. The tight jaw, the TMJs, the neck that won't move, which no oxygen, the headaches, see, all of this, everything in your body is being affected by your thoughts and your emotions that you repeat, and rinse and repeat. They're either destructive and they're going to harm you, or they're helpful and they're going to heal you. And we have to become masters of this. And most people are repressing, suppressing, denying that they even have feelings. I got when I crashed and burned, if you had asked me, how do I feel? I had no clue how I felt, none. I had turned them off so well that they were hidden from myself. I had to learn how to feel again. I didn't even feel full when I ate. I had lost touch with even the feeling of satisfied having enough to eat. I didn't feel thirsty. I mean, I'm telling you, I had mastered turning off the connection to the information that my body was there to provide. So we have to examine and we have to change the destructive thought habits. We have to learn to release the destructive emotions. And the fastest way to do this is to have someone work in your energy field with the high-speed healing. That's why I want to gift it to you tonight. I like around the holidays, I always try to do this because it's such a gift. It was such a gift to me. It's not, and by the way, I'm not the only one with a gift. I've trained about 250 practitioners at this point. Everyone can learn to do this. It's not just Deborah that's, got the gift. It was a gift. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me, but it's teachable. And I finally discovered that a number of years ago. I can see, though, how my entire life was preparing me for this. When I look back now, I didn't know it at the time, but every career choice I made, every hobby that I had was helping me become very, very sensitive to energy. And in fact, growing up, I thought I was too sensitive, and I tried to numb it out with pot and drinking a little too much wine every night. And if I was in a group setting and I would feel everybody's feelings, I tried to shut that off. And I took sedatives to get rid of the information I was picking up on. I didn't realize it was a gift. I didn't know how to use that information. I wanted to shut it off. So today I've learned what you do when you're sensitive. It's not too sensitive, it's a gift. And I see that all my career as an artist and as a dancer, these things made me very, very sensitive to energy and to space and to people and to the body. And whether you were in the room with me or at a distance, I become so skilled at sensitive energy that I can scan the field, whether you're thousands of miles away or 2 centimeters away, and I can feel what's going on, and I can find the disturbances in the energy field. And when we're in a group, we form a collective field, a collective consciousness, because we're all one. We're all interconnected. So I can scan the field and then bring in these high vibrational healing frequencies and give you the leg up that you need, because these are coherent waves, are harmonious vibrational frequencies. And here's the really cool thing. Even in a group, you get individual results. I bring in a wide bandwidth of frequencies, of all the different frequencies, but you will resonate with the ones that you need. And you don't have to figure any of this out. That's the real beauty of what I call the divine intelligence, or you could call it God, or the one mind, the divine mind, or some people call it the matrix, or the universal mind, or divine consciousness. I don't care what you call it. It could be just called nature, because it is nature. This is the nature of our reality, but nobody's teaching us this. We should be learning this in grade school and not being afraid to go to sleep at night. So this unknown invisible realm is truly the most exciting thing going on, and it's everywhere present. And the really cool thing too is that this intelligence, which is it's an energy that's everywhere present, and it also is universal, but it's also personal. It communicates in a personal way and universally. So it's a force that operates whether you know it's there or not, but it will also work with you in a personal way once you understand it better. Now, I don't have time to teach you everything tonight, but this is what I teach in my programs, in my group, or when I work with people deeply one-on-one, because you need to know how to work with it. Because otherwise, if you're unconscious about how all this works, you could be using it in a way that's actually bringing you what you don't want. And that's what I see a lot of people doing. They're Everyone has a very powerful thought process and a very powerful emotional process, and they're using it unconsciously. And in a ideal world, the ultimate goal to me is that I help you become a conscious creator, not an unconscious victim of the forces of nature. That you're just not aware of how they work. So when I work in your energy field, there's a wide range of possibilities that could occur tonight and into the future if you work with me further. One, I'll say on the low end, people say, wow, that was so relaxing. I haven't been that relaxed in a long time. People say things like, I finally slept. People say things like, oh my God, that shoulder pain is gone. The back pain is gone. People say things like, oh my God, I had a multi-dimensional experience. I felt like I was connected to the cosmos, to God. I got answers to the things I've been searching for my whole life. I felt one with the universe. Like it can go from, that was really relaxing. Thank you, Deborah, to I now know who I am and I'm connected to all that is. I had God consciousness in anywhere in between. So you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to experience. I would highly recommend, even if you've done this before with me, even if you've worked with me, you stay open to a brand new experience and don't come here with know-it-allism, because that is the number one thing that will block and shut the door to a new experience. Even if you're a practitioner, even if you have your own method or you work with people, just be open with a childlike innocence, because I work with a lot of practitioners of other methods and doctors and nurses and all kinds of healing and health practitioners. And they often say, wow, Deborah, that was different. I've done a lot of healing techniques and they say that was different. So just be open. I never know what to expect. That's what keeps it so fresh and fun for me. I never know what will happen. I never know who will experience what. And I know that it's not Deborah doing it. It comes through me, but it's not me. And it is undeniable for me. And it's the greatest gift to be able to share it with you. So I thank you for being open to receiving it. Now, I want to say a couple things before we go into the demo, because I know some people, this is brand new and you're thinking, what the hell? She's on a Zoom. She's in California. I live in Australia. Like, how is it? First of all, you don't have to understand one thing with your mind for this to work. You don't. Second, you don't have to understand physics or care about physics for this to work. You just have to be willing to like sit here and be with us. In a perfect world, you'll close your eyes, you'll lie down. And I want you to remember, though, you're in complete control. I will not have control over you. I think this is what frightens somebody who's new to this. They think I can somehow, you know, those old stage hypnotists that used to make people come up on stage and they'd make them cluck like a chicken and embarrass the hell out of them in front of hundreds of people. I'm not going to do that. That's not what this is. You will be aware. And if there were a fire in your home, you would get up and leave. You would know, you're going to be aware. Now, you may be super deeply relaxed in a very deep meditative state, similar to what someone who's been meditating for 40 years experiences. And you may never have meditated before. But if we were to put a piece of brain mapping equipment on you, we would see that you're dropping into what's often known as theta, which is where the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and your self-healing mechanism that you are wired with kicks in, and you will feel very relaxed, but you'll actually be more aware. People notice sounds are louder, colors are brighter, they have more going on, not less. They're not in a somnambulistic trance where they're out of it. Occasionally, people fall asleep. If you do need to sleep, you'll fall asleep. I would recommend you stay as alert observing as long as possible because you may get information. And this may be life-changing information, or it may be really important and you don't even know it's important because you're not used to paying attention to your inner subtle information. And I'll talk more about that after than during or than before. I don't want to color your experience too much. So now she's already dropping in. See, when you start yawning and you feel like I can't listen to one more word, I got to close my eyes. Some people, just from the sound of my voice, they go into a session. I don't have to do a formal session for you to have a session. The frequencies are part of me. They come out vibrationally in the sound of my voice. Remember, healing frequencies are sound waves. You may hear them during the session. I hear them when I work on people. I hear sounds. Some people will see, you might see them, but some people will hear them and some people will feel them. And some people will say, well, I didn't notice a thing, and that's okay too. So we'll talk more about that later, but I just want you to know you're safe. You are in control. You can stop at any time. I've never had anyone ask me to stop, not once. Even people who are super sensitive and have had bad experiences with other types of healing modalities or with plant medicine journeys. I have a lot of people who had negative experiences and they come to me to fix that. They don't ask me to stop. They say, oh my God, now I'm feeling the bliss, the calm, and it's very reassuring usually for people. So if there are any burning questions, if you would type that burning question in the chat, then if there are any, I'll answer those. Otherwise, we'll have a demo and then we will hear what you experienced. I'll answer some questions. I'll explain some of the things that you might notice that may not make any sense. And I'll talk about what I recommend that you do next and what you can expect over the next 2 or 3 days, or maybe even longer. Does that sound good? I can't wait. All right. So what about the chat? Anybody have a burning question that you have to have answered in order to feel comfortable? I think we've got a group of very open people here. We're just ready to go, right? I think so. Okay, then let's go. I want everyone to lie down, please. No driving, no operating equipment, no chopping celery in the kitchen. I want you to stop everything else you're doing. Turn off your notifications. Those alarms are going to sound 10 times as loud and they'll be very startling. If you're able to lie down or sit down, I would prefer you lie down because your body will have a better chance of releasing more if you can lie down. Otherwise, do not worry about it. Get wherever you are. You might be in your car. That's okay. Close your beautiful eyes and take your attention inside. And I want you to begin to notice your inner experience. Now, remember, you cannot do it wrong and you cannot block the healing frequencies that I'm bringing in for you. And you don't have to understand one thing with your mind for this to work. So let your mind take a break. And I want you to let me do all the work now. There's nothing for you to do. Please do not try to help me. Do not try to clear your mind. Just start to notice what's happening inside your mind and body and around your body. If you have any furry animal friends, they typically feel and hear this very quickly, and they will most likely show up in the session. So don't let that bother you. Now, I want you to remember to let your body move if it starts moving involuntarily. Or at any time during the demo, if you feel like moving, follow the urge to move in any way at any time. Your body may move a lot, or it may move a little, or it may not move at all. There's no right or wrong, but let your body be free to move in any way. Don't just make yourself lie still. That's not what we want. As you notice your inner experience, you may begin to notice different sensations. Some of them may be very subtle, some of them may be very strong. Some of them may be uncomfortable. I want you to do your best to soften every muscle and sink down into the cushions beneath you, and do your best to relax into any and every sensation. Even if it's painful, I want you to let the pain come up, and remember it's energy and it's coming up and moving out now. Do your best to allow anything, even if it's uncomfortable, to be there. Notice it, but don't try to change it or stop it or fix it or figure it out. There's nothing for you to figure out. Let me do the work. Even if what you're experiencing you don't understand, that's okay. You don't need to understand it or figure it out or analyze it. Now, you may notice that there's pressure in your head. That's very normal and no need for concern. You're feeling the frequencies. It often feels like pressure in the head. Just breathe and relax. It will dissolve. You may feel the temperature change. You may get really cold or really hot, or both at the same time. You may notice that you start to see something with your eyes closed, like colors, shapes, images. Just look at it if you do see something, and even if it makes no sense, or it might make sense, observe it without trying to change anything or stop anything. And don't get stuck there. Just observe it. Don't get stuck. You might notice some kind of sounds coming from inside of you. Voices, words, music, tones, some kind of sound. If you do, I want you to listen to the sounds, even if they make no sense to you. They don't need to make sense. If it gets quiet inside you and it seems like nothing's happening, or you think you're imagining things and making it up, that's okay too. Sometimes it gets super quiet and it seems like nothing's happening. And if you think you're imagining things, that's perfectly fine. It's just a thought. Notice that you're having the thought. And remember, you can't do it wrong. It's just a thought. I want you to let all the thoughts that come up, come up. I want you to let any emotions that come up, come up. There's nothing for you to stop or control or try to hold down. Let everything be there and let it come up. Now, in a moment, we're going to go into the silent part of the demo, and I'm going to be right here continuing to work on you, but in complete silence for about 5 minutes. So keep observing and allowing any and everything that you experience. Just let it be there without judging it as good or bad, right or wrong. Just observe what you see or hear or feel or sense. Observe your thoughts. Let the emotions come up. Let your body move. Remember to let your body move. And even if it seems like it's quiet and nothing's happening, that's okay too. I'll be completely quiet for 5 minutes. And then when it's time to come back, you'll hear my voice again with instructions. You'll know exactly what to do, and it will be very easy. So enjoy the experience. Here we go now. Now, very, very slowly now, become aware of the sound of my voice and all the sounds around you. And begin now to deepen your breathing and feel yourself becoming more alert, more awake, more aware, and staying very, very relaxed. Take a deep, long breath in and out now. Again, take another deep, long breath in and out now. And feel yourself becoming more alert, more awake, more aware, and staying very, very relaxed. And one more time, take another deep, long breath and come all the way back now, wide awake, alert, refreshed, relaxed, and slowly, gently open your beautiful eyes and come all the way back. Now, I know some of you are saying, do I have to come back? It can be pretty blissful. So it often isn't over when it's over. And many of you will feel tired and want to just lie down once this call is over, and the session will continue going on its own. Some of you will notice over the next 24 hours that a lot might happen. Things may start to come up. More can happen after than during the session. Now, I want to say, so that in case this happens for people, you're not alarmed, this often creates a detox reaction for people. If there are gut issues, viruses, bacteria, mold, fungus, you name it, without taking something, many people will have a detox reaction. So listen to your body. Lots of water, rest if you need to rest. If you get supercharged, full of energy, great, but don't overdo it. And if pain comes up, it's because it's moving out. It's moving your pattern. So I would love to know by a show of hands, or just type yes in the chat or give me a thumbs up. How many of you notice pressure in the head? This is the number one sign that you were perceiving and receiving that most people have. They'll feel pressure in the head area. And it's very, very common. So I'm seeing thumbs going up. Yep. Thumbs going up. Okay. Not as many as I thought. It's not required, but it does happen to a lot of people. Some people might even feel nauseous. So if that happened for you and you don't normally feel nauseous, don't be alarmed. That's the second most common response, is that people feel pressure in the head or nauseous. Some people will feel pressure in the areas where they have issues. Anik is saying, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Everybody, please be sure to keep your muted. Keep yourself muted. Thank you. Anik is saying that there was pressure in the leg that hurts. See, many people will, and lots of people are saying in the chat that they felt pressure. If you have a certain physical pain or problem or issue, you might feel the pressure in that area. You might feel other sensations as well. You may have noticed colors. For those of you who notice colors, those are frequencies. And specific different colors, frequencies show up at different times. So if you have done this before, or you do this again with me privately or in a group, you'll find that the colors may never be the same again, or they might. They are a frequency that you needed today. Some people will hear tones or sounds, and I'm one of those, and you may be too. And again, think about information. It comes in different forms. color, light, and sound, and even fragrance. Now, it's not as common, but some people will notice a fragrance. Often they'll report a floral fragrance. So if any of you had that experience, that floral fragrance is a very high vibrational frequency, and it shows up around here quite a bit. You're more than welcome to type in the chat any comments of what you experienced, what you noticed, what concerned you, what questions you have. Type in the chat. I'm going to start to respond to some of these. Let's see. Scott said, all this makes sense, and it would be lovely to listen to your voice. How you describe energy works, not on the problem side. Okay, thank you. Nancy said, yes, pressure she felt. Some more pressure in the leg, Anik said. Sammy said in the solar plexus and the spine, there was pulsing. The pulsing is also a very common response. People feel, they'll say they feel the buzzing. They feel like their whole body was buzzing, or they could feel waves of energy, or they felt the pulsing, or they heard it. Ronnie saw the color orange. Yeah, so particular frequency often comes up. Someone noticed feeling nauseous and yawning a lot, but the TMJ didn't hurt. That's great. Glad to hear that. Jenny Lee said some pressure. I felt heat, more so concentrated at the low back area, and my body was moving wave-like. See, your body is a wave. Your body is a wave form. And when energy changes, the wave moves. It's changing form. And when I'm bringing in these frequencies, it's communicating with you through a wave. And a lot of people will feel the waves, will say to me, oh, it felt like water waves were around me or through me or in me, or my body felt like water, or my body felt like waves. You're feeling the information communication taking place when you notice the waves. Julia said she noticed ringing in the right ear. Nancy said her stomach felt queasy, and I saw you floating around my room with wings. All right, I like it. Susan said my spine and hands vibrated, and there was pressure. The pressure was minimal in my head. And yes, there was a floral scent. Ah, see, that's so interesting, Susan. Yeah. Julia said I was also cold. Tanya said I noticed pain in my neck on the right side that starts in my right shoulder and rises up into my head. Yes, and I happen to know that you have a shoulder issue. So see, this is why it lit up for you, because it started moving, and you probably have the energy is not flowing properly. And it's, the shoulder I had a client earlier today who gets migraines. Well, it was all connected to the neck tension and the shoulder. And once that started to release, her jaw and her migraine pain went away. Lucy said, I felt pulsing in the middle of my back. Sandra said, my eyes watered and yawning, and I felt cold. See, these are all signs of you guys perceiving the frequencies that I bring in. This is exciting. Another comment, I felt myself unwind, relax, and then a delicious, supported, beautiful energy within extending. There were thoughts of family and so much love and a little worry. See, the things that are troubling you will come up. The little worries, they come up. The thoughts, the things that are unresolved about your kids or your work or whatever it is, it comes up. But I'm so glad that you felt the majority of it was your connection to the love that you felt, and that it was palpable for you. That's awesome. Cher said, I felt positivity and gratefulness. I saw the people who gave me gifts in my life, such as unconditional love. Beautiful. Elizabeth said the anger was coming up. Yeah, we want it to come up. That's what's causing the pain, my friends. We want anything but love, but the love, and the love can come up too, but we want what's in the way of the love to come up and release. And that's what happens. Many people have what I call the emotional tsunami when I work on them over a series of I always recommend at least 4 sessions. And if there are emotions buried, they start to move up and come out. Brenda said, I fell asleep deeply and I woke up with a start when the silence was happening. And I thought I slept through the rest of the recording, but I did feel tingling and pressure in my right leg and around other parts of my body after all. Great. Carol said, deliciously relaxed. Good to see you here, Carol. Jean said, I had some pain in my hips and my eye has been hurting all day. I saw a strange picture of a bird flying when I had my eyes closed. Tanya said, I believe the entire shoulder issue is from my stress response and that the energy is changing in a good way. Awesome. Beautiful, Tanya. Love it. Laura said, there's pressure in my head, felt cold, then hot, and a point of itchy pinprick on the bottom of my right foot, purple, then blue and white with bubbles. People talk about the bubbles a lot. These are bubbles of consciousness, bubbles of energy, and people do see that. I took deep breaths and I thought of family, concerns, and creativities. We've seen this method is a big boost to creativity and athletic ability and productivity and memory. So you don't have to have something wrong. You don't have to have pain or any kind of disease for this to help you. It's amazing. People, past clients of mine who didn't even know they had creative anything. I had one who's now written 5 best-selling books. I can't tell you all the people that have told me they started to paint. They've gone to ceramics classes. I have athletes that come to work with me on purpose because it helps them recover from injuries faster, prevent injuries, and increase, especially the runners and the people who do races and Ironmans and triathlons. They come to me because it improves their speed and their endurance and their athletic ability. So lots of other advantages of this as well. So if you are here tonight, I want to thank you again. You may notice an effect over the next day or 2 or 3. Occasionally it's longer. The running record is someone had healing go on for 12 days. And she reported that she intuitively was told she experienced getting a new kidney and that she needed to integrate that for 12 days. Now that may sound really out there to some of you, but I'm telling you, it's unlimited what's possible here. I have seen complete full-on spine and bones and discs and everything people have reported changing. People, one woman at 92 years old, her spine straightened out so much, she grew 2 inches in her first session. People have said it felt like hands-on chiropractic. They had full-on adjustments of their spine, bulging discs disappeared, tumors, cysts, tremors, like the list goes on and on. So don't limit this. Don't be too quick to judge. Notice what happens over the next day or 2. I would love if you would like to continue working with me. I want to recommend 2 things that you do right away. One, if you haven't yet downloaded the free gifts, you want to download the free gifts. I'll put that link in the chat. It's international. Like, let me make sure everyone can see this. All right. The link to the free gifts is, got to get my microphone out of the way, internationalcpi.com/free gifts. And that will give you a copy, a digital copy of my best-selling book, Why Do I Still Hurt?, which goes into the conversation we're having tonight deeper and gives you questions to start writing about and thinking about and processing to help you go into the hidden reasons for your pain and symptoms. So you want to read the book, you want to use it like a workbook, and the free gift will also bring you to this live call. So some of you must have already known about that and signed up for the free gift. Now, what I'd like to recommend if you want to go further is that you go to international CPI, CPI.com/discovery, international CPI.com/discovery. And if you've not worked with me privately, you book a one-on-one discovery, a deep discovery session. We will have 90 minutes to spend together where I can go deeper into your specific feedback that your body's giving you and help to uncover and discover what blind spots are in your way, what's your body trying to tell you, And what are the obstacles keeping you from healing? And we'll have a very deep discussion followed by a private healing session. Now, these fill up really quickly. So there's often a waiting list. If you get to the calendar and you see there's no appointments for like a year or something, don't be scared. That's not the case. You need to email the office and we'll open up more appointments. But they do, whenever we open them up, they go pretty quickly. So, and we don't book the whole year out. We just usually have like about a month's worth, sometimes 2 weeks worth, 3 weeks worth opened up. So go there, check it out. And oh, Tanya is saying, amazing, Deborah. My eyes are seeing clearly at the moment. And everything looks clear, bright, and beautiful out my window and on my trees. She's been having a lot of trouble with her eyes. I've had quite a lot of people have vision improvement. In fact, cataracts completely clearing up, gone. No need for the cataract surgery, they tell me. People's vision going back to 2020. I've even had people with very rare eye diseases that just clears up. So you're in the right place. If you're here, there's a reason you're here. There are no accidents in the energetic universe, none. So what I want to suggest is that in spite of your skepticism, in spite of your fear, in spite of your past struggles or challenges, or having your hopes dashed and feeling like you were disappointed, don't give up hope. Just take one more step. Stay with us, stay with me, work with me further. There's a group program as well. If you know you want to work with me deeper, there's several other options. You'll find that on the website to work with me longer than just one appointment. So there's something for everyone, and I do want to help you. And I want to I would love to add you to the list of testimonials of success stories. So thank you for being here tonight. I wish every one of you a magical holiday and a year that is just your dream come true year, where the miracle you've been praying for that's right around the corner is here now. Just know it, claim it, own it. And whatever you do, even if you have a moment of doubt or disappointment, don't stop. Don't give up hope. You don't know what's right. You don't know what's happening 2 minutes from now. Neither do I. So stay open and remember, life supports you. Even when you don't understand that or see the evidence of that. And that's what I'll help you in our private session. Discover why you have that pattern running, where it seems like life's not supporting you, when the nature of life says yes to you all the time. So with so much love from my heart to yours, thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day and come back soon. Much love, everybody. You can all unmute. Let's unmute and like give a big blast of love. And wait, I want to unmute all. Oops. There we go. Unmute.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.